Hello, welcome to Project Insights Power Tutorial Series. We're excited to have you join us today as we showcase Project Insights advancements in program and portfolio management. At Project Insight, we're leading the charge in project, program, and portfolio management, delivering solutions that go beyond what other tools in our industry offer. We've long provided robust project level tooling. And if you've joined our previous power tutorials, you know we've covered pieces like task management, resource allocation, and time and invoicing, just to name a few. Today, we're excited to show you our newly developed program and portfolio functions.
Yeah, that's great. Exciting to show you all what we've been working on, and we're going to be doing program and portfolio management features all year, and in the foreseeable future, this whole entire year.
Which is wonderful, Steve. As
Yeah.
as we continue to develop, those will be released to you as our customers, and in that way, you'll be able to see the enhancements as they go. Today's session, we're going to cover really though how to track and manage work dynamically across projects, programs, and portfolios. We're going to utilize our cross-project Gantt charts to align strategic initiatives and manage dependencies at any level. We're going to monitor budgets and rate items, all in to have one single source of truth here, including gaining visibility into meeting minutes, right? So that way you can see what's happening in your entire portfolio at any level, depending upon where you manage those.
Mhm.
I think one of the other added huge benefits here, Steve, is these flows also can be extended into our existing DevOps and Jira integrations, which allow you to roll your project level work seamlessly into your programs or portfolio management as well, right?
Yeah, that's definitely right. I mean, we've been definitely working a lot on those integrations to get your project data out of the DevOps and Jira tools, or not really out of, but just combine them with what the other projects you're doing. But now you'll also be able to take those same projects and roll them into your program and your portfolio view. So it's really great where we're going with this.
Yeah, it really is. This is an enterprise add-on. So the idea of this is that we're providing, continuation of what we do already day in and day out of being aligned with, PMI and PMBOK methodologies to ensure the best practices are followed at any stage from project to program to portfolio reporting, as far as that's concerned. So
Mhm.
quickly, before we get started, just a couple housekeeping items. Everybody will be on mute. Please use the chat if you have any questions as we go. We're going to do our best to address those as the session continues through. Feel free to use that right now to drop a note and maybe say where you're joining us from. I'm in Phoenix. Steve, where are you joining? I see your surfboard. You're close to the
Huntington
ocean.
Beach, Huntington Beach, California.
Huntington Beach, exactly. So,
I know, right? Well,
uh, this session is about 30 minutes long. I'm Matthew Sparks. I'm with the Project Insight sales team. I'm joined today by Steve West, our founder and CEO. Together, we're going to walk through these new features. You
yep,
ready to go, Steve?
let's do it.
Hey, Jennifer. Wonderful. So this is our Project Insight home screen. So this will be something that if you are logging into the tool, you are already accustomed to. The idea of this is this is individualized to me as the team member who has logged in. That in that way, I can see what work list items I have, what projects I'm assigned to. There are two new icons here: the program and the portfolio, and that's really what we're going to be touching on. So with that said, we're going to jump right into the kind of day in and day out of project level information, just to touch on how this will scale up into the program and then into the portfolio, and then we'll tie into some additional reporting. Here we can see our normal projects homepage where I'm viewing the projects that I'm assigned to by last visit. I can see Project Waterfall here is associated with the tech program. So this will be a newer piece of the tool because we've affiliated this project with program.
Hmm.
Hey, I can see the other pieces that we normally can, our status, our phase, RAG status from a health perspective, so that I can say we're green or we're amber on this particular project. Automatic notifications that Project Insight is producing as well. Ultimately, though, when we click into the project level, we are met with one of many views and ways in which we can interact with the work that's happening here. This is our task list, though, right, Steve?
That's right. This is the task list. You should all of our enterprise customers are very familiar with this view.
Yep. The idea is, of course, that I can get the function, the pieces of the project that I want to see at any point in time. So in this particular instance, we do have the milestones being designated. This is really important because when we get up to the cross-level project, the cross-project Gantt chart, excuse me, on the program level, we're going to actually even have visibility into each of these individual milestones on that chart. So
That's right.
that applies to really any of the feature set, though, and how they will roll up into the project, or the program or portfolio level.
Yep.
So if we are tracking pieces like what our actual hours are, so here's what we planned, here's what we've actually accomplished, we can have those roll into these. That is the same for items like work expense, right, Steve? If we're doing budget tracking and want to
Right.
keep an eye on those pieces.
Raise all of these active projects that you have in your program, those values will roll up to the top. And we're still working more on some of the more advanced budgeting features, but definitely what you see with the tasks where they roll up to the summary, then the summary rolls up to the project, and then the project rolls to the portfolio or the program, and then the program rolls up to the portfolio.
That's right.
And
And
note too, yeah, there you go. Note too that in the views you should have a new if your project's in a program, it'll show up there.
yep, and that's where we'll jump next here.
Yeah.
After touching the idea that it's not just the task list, though, right, Steve? I know I can go into my Gantt and view what's happening here on this particular project. I can use the Kanban views, but
Yeah.
it's also the rate items as well that will roll up there as well.
Yeah. So far, yeah. Why don't we move forward, I guess, and we'll show you that.
Yeah, absolutely. So these are the risks associated with our particular project. What we can do now is go up into our program view here. So I'm going to click onto this and see the my program home, where I can see the different programs by my last visit. When I click here into the tech program, which is where that project waterfall we were just viewing is a part of, I'm met with our overview page here for this actual program, right?
That's right. And just before, when you're in your project, if you want to jump to your program, you don't have to go. You can jump right from the project views into that program there as well too. So this is the current screen. That was the current home screen for a program.
Yep.
But note all the new views that we have, and this is the area we'll be expanding this whole entire year, be adding more and more ways to see your information across the program. So why don't you go ahead and show them that, Matt?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, this works very similarly to our other reporting, right? Where I can come in here and decide what columns I want to have. I can sort and adjust these. But now what this has done is allowed these projects to be grouped together in this program, wherein I can see all of them over time, together on my cross-project Gantt here.
That's right.
Right. So again, tying back to the milestones that we were touching on Project Waterfall, I can see how those are going to fall out over time. Another recently added feature is this idea that the milestone is either opened or closed, and I can visually see that here on this Gantt as well via the diamonds, right? If it is closed, it is closed, and if it is open, it's just an outline there that we need to get that done.
Yeah. The open ones are not done yet, and the other ones are completed. Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's right. Which makes it extremely easy. As the person who's managing this program, I know exactly where we should be.
Yeah.
I can understand very readily if we have accomplished the milestones that we need to.
Yeah.
And if we haven't, we can even click on these and comment and collaborate just like you can throughout the rest of the tool, right?
Right. I mean, basically, what's really cool about this is that you could already take your projects, all your active projects, or filter them on the reports.
Yep.
But now with your program view or your portfolio view, you'll be able to just click in the views to see it, and it'll just automatically filter. So this list you see here of all of the projects, these are just the projects in Tech Program right now. If we roll up to the portfolio that Tech Program is in, then you'll see basically all the projects in all of the programs underneath that. And we did get a question from Thomas. He asked, is there a limit to the number of projects in a program? No, there's no limit to the number of projects in the program. The only limit would really be how much you want to show on your screen. And the other thing too is that on the views on the calculations right now, the calculations will roll up only the active ones. So if you're planning things, we don't show them until they don't get calculated into your totals until they're marked active. And then if you archive them, they pull off. But we'll show you more of the budgeting reports in a minute because a lot of that's time phased.
That's just like all of our reporting, though, right, Steve?
Yeah.
If I have the ability to differentiate between whether my project is in an active status or whether I'm planning it and it's inactive.
Right.
And then once we've completed it and we want it off completely, we have another option in to say, hey, let's archive this and no longer have visibility.
That's right. I mean, it's just the same as you would expect from the other reporting aspects.
That's right. This honestly is, I think, my favorite addition here on the program view is the idea that the Kanbans do stream up as well. So we have the planning, the assignment, and the status board. Now what we're looking at are the tasks associated with this customer service annual financial audit project. Just like you could on that project level, I can move these over. Any dependencies will come over automatically with them. If I need to add a task, for one of these, I do have the ability to just simply click here and say, add the task in. In that way, a task will be added to the social feedback implementation project.
Yeah.
All done here from that program view.
Yeah, and this is really great. I mean, the Kanbans by default in the project show you just the tasks in your one project, but the Kanbans in the program and portfolio views will automatically group them this way. You see there the groupings there. That's technically called swim lanes in Kanban speak, but
yep.
Effectively you can group them, and that really helps you as a PM. If you're looking at your program, you can say, okay, what's going on in all my projects at once? This Kanban, by the way, this is the planning board, which is mostly a time-based one where you can reschedule your tasks. We have all three other Kanbans that you have in the program or at the project level are in the program and portfolio view right now.
Which is extremely handy. You can do the assignment, which is,
right.
What we're seeing is who's doing which of these. Now we're on the status board where we're working our way across our task status, right? Where we can drag these over.
This is the more traditional Kanban. Most people when you think of Kanban, it's just generally you're looking at what are your statuses, and you're having your status meeting with this type of view. You can have your meeting, and this way you don't have to jump from project to project. You can be doing this right off the program view. So it's really, really helpful to use these.
Agreed. What's really nice as well is the group by is still here. So I'm still managing this particular project or this program, but now maybe I just want to look at everything that's assigned on each task owner. So now, each of these tasks, you can see here, process improvement, analyst program, project, the customer experience project. I can then understand what Andrew needs to do across my program itself. So same functionality, right?
And you can filter too, and all the same things that you have in your normal project Kanban are here as well.
Yep. Which makes it handy. Now I'm looking at that big group instead of, needing to go in one by one. So
that's right.
Applies to assignment. And then, as we mentioned, it applies to the rate items as well, right? Mm-hmm. So you do have the ability to look at your risks, your actions, your issues, your decisions as they apply from, all of the projects and work their way up here. So as you may or may not know, this, the idea of what this risk matrix is, you have the ability to customize and change within the tool. So it can be what the out-of-the-box idea is here or what your organization uses. Just like on the project level, I can hide this chart if I prefer to just have the list. It's really the same functionality that you're used to in the tool.
And what's really great about this view here is that, if let's say you've got a program that has many different project managers kind of working together, they'll be doing their risks in their project view and working off that main view. This is your roll up of all the risks across all the projects when you want to see them. Now, you could still do that before in the Project Insight. You could do that with a report, but this just lets you go click right to the program and then click right to here. So it should save you time. If you just want to go, you don't have to set up a special report now for your program or your portfolio if you want to see all risks across many projects. And it's editable here as well, just like you can in the project. So if you need to make adjustments with your team, you can do that.
New risk, you can add it right in here. This is automatically selecting just the projects within my program so that I can come in and say it's
That's right.
associated here. And then you can log these just the same way that you can on each project level.
Hmm.
So that applies really on the actions, the issues, the decisions, where you have the ability to say these are how these roll up from all of the other projects as well. So
Hmm.
the other piece that I think is really handy, and this is even still a newer feature of the tool, right, Steve, is meeting minutes. So,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the when we added meeting minutes, it became, it's actually really popular. And I get it. We've been using it ourselves because who wants to go dig through your email for what did we say in like September? This lets you help. This really helps you do that. But now with the program view, you can see all of the meeting minutes across all the projects in that program in one spell swoop. Again, you could have done that with a report, but this makes it a lot easier. Just click through, go to the view, and find it.
I think that's a great call out, Steve. It's all of this functionality was here a part of the tool already. You could have, run a report and fine
Yeah,
tune the data, but the idea is it's right here. I don't need to, I wasn't a part of this meeting, even though it says I was, but I can come in and jump in and understand what
yeah,
action items were raised, what risks we discussed, all of that without having to find it. It's simple
yeah.
and right here. So.
Exactly. I mean, the whole point of one of the main points, not all the whole point, but one of the main points of adding the programs and the portfolios is that, most of our customers and most people do this anyway. They have their project list in Excel or something, and you'll have a column. This is the program it's in. This is the project it's in. Well, that's really helpful in Excel in that one file, but this makes it easier or you can just click through. You can see what are the projects that are in my program together? What are the issues together? It'll slice and dice all this information for you by simply tagging your project in there. So it really saves you, the project manager, a ton of time, not having to like manually adjust all your reports all the time.
Yeah, yeah. Linda asked a question in that, can my meeting minutes be sent out to clients?
Yeah, I think they do right now. There's an alert for that. So, but we'll get with you offline, Linda, and have someone support call you and help you with that. But yeah, it
They
should
do.
automatically email everybody that's in the system. They have to be an active user in the system, though. That is the one kind of drawback to it. But because some people don't want their clients necessarily in there. But the other thing about the meeting minutes is that if your client or somebody sends you meeting minutes via email, the Outlook connector actually allows you to upload those meeting minutes in through your Outlook connector, because that's mostly, I would say, a lot of, like, especially if you're using Zoom and other things, they'll email the meeting minutes. And on top of that, since we're talking about it, we are planning on adding in our Teams integration ability to just click the button from the meeting after your Teams meeting and have that come in too. So there's a lot going on there too.
Yeah, lots of development. I think that
Hmm.
even, again, it reiterates the point that this is a piece that we are currently, working on. It is a part of our 2025 roadmap. You will
Yeah.
continue to see functionality added and robustness increase as the year progresses. So we have moved our way up to the portfolio view, right?
Hmm.
And
Yep.
what this is now doing is allowing me to associate a project with my portfolio or programs, right? So
Yep.
I have the ability to say all of the projects in this program or all of, these individual projects as well. So one additional grouping there. You do get the same views that we were looking at previously on the other screen as well, right?
Yeah.
So I can
And
go and Mhm.
yeah, and you don't have to use. You could just use programs only if you don't need the same level. Like there, you it's optional to use portfolio on top of program. So you could just do program project if you don't need to go that far to keep going up like two levels up.
Yeah,
Totally
that's a
optional.
great call out. Just like the other parts of the tool, I can go in there and say, nope, I don't want to use that functionality, and we wouldn't see this in the drop down, and it wouldn't be here for us. So the other piece to note on all of these pieces are they roll into the reports, right, Steve? These
That's
these
right.
are now functioning columns that we have. That allows me to, sort by portfolio, sort by program. The other piece that you can do here is filter as well, right?
That's right. You're looking at a project report here,
Yep.
and he's showing you the columns that just to tell you uh, which program and portfolio it's in. If you go to the filters now, you'll see a couple other options in there. If you want to open up that,
Yep.
by default, nothing's filtered, but you could say, I want to limit this to projects that are in open portfolios. If you check that box, now if there's a closed portfolio, it would filter out projects in that closed portfolio. But more importantly, you might just pick a portfolio or a set of portfolios that you want to filter by.
Yeah.
And you do the same thing for programs. Now we'll be adding more to this as we go. There'll be custom fields for your portfolios and other attributes being added to them. But we felt like we should get everybody this feature in preview mode now because it is very functional. We have many customers out there that would add like a custom field or something for their portfolio attributes. This gets you so much more than just that right out of the box because it does everything the custom field can do and all the things we're showing you right now. And we're going to be continuing to expand on all that.
I think you're right, Steve. We had a lot of customers who are using maybe sometimes even type or department as means to
That's right.
differentiate those. And what's great about this is you can do it all, right? I can still have my IT program. It can be, headed up by my customer service department, and it's a roadmap project, and you
Right.
still have all of that level of visibility here.
Right. I mean, it's actually really powerful. Already, we have a lot of clients that have departmental PMOs and they have their department going on. This does allow you, and many people would say, okay, we'll just write reports where it's my department stuff and they would write the reports this way. But now each department can have their own programs and portfolios in them. So this really helps you dice this, slice in your information a little bit more easily.
Yeah, and they're able to be grouped by in the tool, right? So now what we're looking at are
Yep.
these by just program and project. So we have these grouped together where I can then see what's in my tech program. That allows for these native pieces of the tool to be here. So if we are, even doing complicated SPI numbers, I can have that roll up to that program, to that portfolio level, just like any of the budget pieces or any of the other parts of the tool, right, Steve?
Yep, definitely. And we plan on showing you guys there is a question out there that
Oh,
this is an add-on, so it's right in your add-ons, but we will go over there in a minute to show you how to get them on.
that's right. Yep. So that applies here at the high level of project report to the idea of a time report. Here we're going to just quickly look at a task report where we have a few pie charts, but again, we're grouping our current and our overdue tasks by the program, by the project, and then each of those that are here. So just a lot simpler way to interact with the
Yeah,
data if you're rolling it that way.
and do you want to show real quick where the group by is for anybody new that maybe
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
know? So the group by is a great feature in our tool. Right above columns, almost all the reports have this there. You can pick, if you open up the columns there, you'll
Yep.
in the drop there, you can see these are the various different things that you can like group by your report. So program and portfolio should be in most of those reports now as well. So filters are there and the group bys for these.
I think it's also a piece to note is custom objects or custom differentiation can also be in these group bys as well, right?
Yeah, the
So
custom items have it as well.
that's right. If there is something that you're doing that's unique to your organization, you do have the ability to include that as a part of the group by and roll ups there.
Yeah, and we do, I'm not to get ahead of myself, but we will be adding custom items in as a view option in the portfolio and programs.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about the resource allocation and the budget allocation reports here.
Yeah, I am too. It's really nice because then you have a way, just like you do on our budget reports currently, right, where I can look forward or backward so I can understand what we're planning on doing or what we have done, right? You can really make those yourself. That's now rolled into this idea of having it on my program or my portfolio as well. We're going to show some examples here on the program side.
Mhm. Yeah, you may want to reload that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's try this.
That's a big one. 6 months. There
Yeah,
you go.
here we are. So
So this is your plan and earn value view, basically, for those professional PMs here.
that's right. It's now rolled up to that same program level, and we can take it one up and have that portfolio here if that's the way that we prefer. But now I'm getting into the granularity of each project. I can then even see what each of these tasks are driving that work, right, on those projects themselves. So you can see each of those, what we had planned to spend on this versus what we actually did. So this can be controlled via our filters here, like all of the other pieces have the ability to. So if I prefer to say, I don't really care about the totals. I just care about my planned work hours. I want my actual hours, and let's see what those two look like against one another. I can rerun this same report. Again, we're rolling it by program, by project, and then into task. And then I can see how those have rolled up, from the hour perspective there.
Yeah, exactly. This is really, we have the many different roll-ups on these budget reports already, but just being able to quickly aggregate them into their buckets like this. And again, this is real-time data. What you're seeing here is for the month of May, what he's highlighted, the tech program, there's 561 hours are planned, meaning that's
Yep.
what coming from your project schedule. And then those actual hours there are coming from your actual time entries that people put in. So this is where it's really powerful to have your information in the program or the portfolios. You can see this is my budget for this program for this period of time. This is how many hours we're going to be spending for this period of time in this whole program across all these different projects. Now you could have done this before with a custom field, but this is now built in right into the box. And I did miss Thomas's question on he's asking how do you add a program to a portfolio. It's what you'll do when you go to the program add edit form. There should be a portfolio drop down. Now, if you don't see a portfolio drop down there, that means you have to go into the add-on and turn portfolios on. So that may be why it's not there. Because by default, I believe it's off. I'm not sure if it's on or off by default, but if you don't see portfolio, it's because it needs to be added into the add-on.
Yeah, and we'll show what that looks like, right? So if you are, currently do not have this add-on installed, you can go to your add-ons. You can go into the Get More add-ons and search for program. We have this one installed already, right? Obviously, we're viewing that, and that's where we can see the programs and portfolio management here. I can get additional information on this. What Steve was just mentioning was the idea of configuration. So I can click on this and decide, yes, I do, or no, I do not want to have portfolios as a part of this as well, right? So if I was not wanting those, I can disable this. I can save it, and then when I were to refresh, I would not have the portfolio view here. None of the affiliation would be through the rest of the tool.
Yeah, and what you're looking at here is the list of optional fields that you can turn on or off for the program level. Because I believe by default, it's just pretty much the name and the description and maybe the company, not sure.
Company you're right. It's name, description, and company.
Yeah, so. and then you could add more attributes depending on your needs. So, we have customers that need a lot of fields and we have customers that don't. So that's why we build it like this. You'll see other add-ons work the same way where you in your project form, you can say, I want these built-in fields or not. And then if we don't have a field you don't want, of course, it's really easy to just add a custom field.
That's the custom fields here.
I think we got to wrap it up. I do want to mention... I do want to mention where we're going. I mean, like I said, there should be new features almost every sprint or enhancements and fixes in our, preview release of this feature. But then coming up very soon, this quarter, we will have the ability for you to roll your task list up from not just your project, but your tasks will show the project level and then the program level and the portfolio level in a big tree. So you'll be able to actually look at a combined task list, and of course the Gantt chart coming after that for what as well.
On these views specifically,
that's right.
Because again, you can do it in a report right now based on the group buys, but yeah,
it'll be just right out of the box. It'll be a view. This has been something people have asked us for a little while. It's like, hey, I want to be able to go into a program and they want to see like 3 projects together and all the tasks under those projects, be able to expand and collapse them. That's really coming up next in that's being worked on right now. So can't wait to give you that view. And we'll be doing more programmer portfolio tutorials this year as well.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining. We appreciate everybody's time. Thank you for your business. If this is something that we can aid in getting into your workspace, please do reach out. You can contact our support or me directly at matthew.sparks@projectinsight.com. If you are not using our tool and you feel that this would be a powerful enhancement to the way that you do business, again, feel free to reach on out. You can do sales@projectinsight.com. We appreciate you all. Thank you.
Oh, Brigida asks, will you enable risks and actions? Right now, yeah, you do need to add them to a project at the moment. I believe we will be changing that so that it's optional. The project will be optional eventually, but right now you do need to add them. You do need to add the risks into a program. I may have to. Not sure if I have enough time to answer her last question, but we'll be in touch, Brigida.
I'll shoot you a message today, Brigida. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, everybody.